Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to the channel update for March 2016. Another month gone! Good grief, where does the time go? What has been happening this month? Well, this has been a month of live streaming for me, doing the whole dual stream thing. It's had mixed results. Anyone that tuned in to my first Pirate Doom stream, you will have discovered that it didn't want to work. It just didn't want to work at all. I've since figured out what the problem was, but if you want to see some premium A-grade saltiness from me, you only have to check out the VOD on the archive, which is on YouTube at the moment for the first Pirate Doom, and I am just excessively annoyed at the start of that video. And I discovered it was because the Restream service, which I used to stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time on a Friday for Doom Mod Madness Live, the server was balked. It just decided it wasn't going to work that week. It's still apparently a little wonky, so now whenever I do a live stream, I'm actually streaming via Amsterdam, which seems like I'm going a lot further afield, but geographically, it's not as far as you might imagine, so it doesn't really impact the performance of the stream all that much. And it worked out pretty well for the second attempt, because I did actually end up doing Pirate Doom Part 2. In terms of other stuff going on, any of you that also make your own YouTube videos may have gotten the notification that the annotations, those little things that can pop up on screen every now and again, are in fact going away. YouTube is doing away with them. Instead, it wants everyone to use the cards that you may or may not have seen pop up on various channels, and use the end screen feature that they've now implemented, which I wasn't really a massive fan of, mainly because I put a lot of effort into actually getting my original annotation-focused end screen working, but it's not a total loss if I'm going to be brutally honest with myself. I never really used the annotations properly in the first place. I'm an extremely forgetful person. And usually it's about half a week to a week later where I go, I should have really added the annotations to that end thing. What if people actually want to click next or previous video? And what's going to happen then? It's not going to friggin' work. But with the end screens, it is a lot more, I'd say, convenient, but a lot less customizable. You've got to make sure you have everything within the last 20 seconds of your video. So I've had to trim down the old end screen a little bit, switch it up. And, I don't know, hopefully it leads to more people actually exploring most of the content I've got, because we're nearly, I'm pretty sure we're over the 100 video mark now when it comes to Doom Mod Madness videos, so that's a lot of stuff for people to troll through should they feel the need, should they feel the desire to binge on Doom Mod Madness videos, so feel free indeed. Also, the channel has passed not two, that would be a very small number, 22,500 subs. 22,500 subs. We're creeping up on it. We're creeping up on it. If you didn't know, my milestone is 25,000 subs. And for that particular milestone, I've said that I want to make another Doom map. I've done it in the past. I've done 2 Doom maps in the past. They've been quite fun experiences. But again, because I'm lazy and forgetful, this is something that it's probably going to get down to the last 500 subs, and I'm going to be racing against the clock to get this damn thing finished, because, yeah, it's only very occasionally that I remember that I've got this thing in the works, and that I should probably finish it in time for the 25,000 sub milestone. So, yeah, fingers crossed I need to put some sticky notes. I need to put some post-its around my monitor just to remind myself of this stuff, because, yeah, I've got a mind like a sieve. Things just fall through the gaps. For those of you out there wondering what to expect from the next month of Doom Mod Madness, I've got to admit I'm not entirely sure myself. In a general sense, I'm still working through my research pile. I've got this folder full of mods that look interesting, and I'll load them up on research day and just see whether there's something worth talking about. And that's generally how I work, but in the wider sense, there's a bunch of very interesting looking projects that are currently being worked on by the very, very talented Doom modding community, and I'm awaiting their release with bated breath. It's torture. It's quite honestly torture, because I see the screenshots, I see the videos, I see the work being done, and it all looks friggin' fantastic. So fingers crossed some of those projects actually get released over the next month or so, because those will be some juicy, tasty, awesome Doom Mod Madness videos for both you and me. Outside of Doom mods, there's been a few games that have been holding my attention of late. One that I've been utterly binging is Nier Automata. I didn't expect this game to grab me anywhere near... Hey, see what I did there? I made it funny. Anywhere near as much as it actually did. I didn't play the original Nier. I was hopelessly intrigued by it. The way the director Yoko Taro works fascinates me, so I thought, hey, I'll give Nier Automata a try. He's partnered up with Platinum Games, so the combat at the very least is going to be fun, and I was completely and utterly blindsided by how much I enjoyed Nier Automata, and enjoyed is probably a very subjective term when you come to think of it, because this is a game that will put you through the emotional ringer. It will very occasionally just punch you squarely in the heart with regards to some of the stuff that the characters go through. And the way it's structured is nuts as well. I played through it first time round. I thought I got to the end of the game, and I was like, oh, that was kind of underwhelming. But this is actually a game where it encourages you to play through the first part more than once in order to get more bits and pieces of the story. And without veering into spoiler territory, this is actually a game which seems to contain its own sequel. That's probably the best way that I can describe it without spoiling it, and it deserves to be experienced. If you've even got a vague interest in this, by all means pick it up. If you're picking it up on PC, however, you might be experiencing a few port issues, but to that effect, there are a bunch of fixes on the Steam forums that you can easily install for the thing and get it running nice and smooth. So don't worry too much, there are fixes. PC port hasn't been left in a dumpster in the back alley somewhere. It does have people fixing it up, and hopefully the official devs do make it work a little bit more smoothly themselves, the lazy bums. But yeah, it's mainly to do with the resolution and stuff, but it's still entirely playable. At the very least, for me, it was still very, very much playable. The other thing that's been holding my attention is, of course, the final DLC expansion for Dark Souls 3, The Ringed City. And this released on the 28th of March, and I've already done a little bit of live streaming for this. I was very eager to get my hands on it, and so far it has been absolutely kicking my ass. It's been very much worth the trip. I mean, if anything, I fully expect anything Dark Souls to completely and utterly kick my ass, especially first time round, especially playing it blind, because I honestly didn't know what to expect. I avoided as many of the trailers as I could. All I knew was that you were traveling through the Dreck Heap, which looks appropriately shitty, and then you eventually reach the Ringed City itself, which I've got to admit is a very picturesque location. It's almost a complete visual 180 from what you go through at the start of that DLC, but to talk any further of it would be to risk spoilers for those of you out there that do in fact want to play it yourselves, but I'll be continuing with my live stream on that. There'll be a lot more salt, a lot more pain, a lot more loss of souls, and if you're interested in watching that, feel free to pop on over to Twitch and just watch me die over and over and over again. So, as for other games that I'm looking forward to, I'm actually quite looking forward to getting my hands on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Now, for those of you that have absolutely no idea what this is, it's a Battle Royale survival game. You're parachuted onto this massive island along with a bunch of other players, and you've got to loot for guns and equipment, and eliminate every other player until you are literally the last man standing. And to aid in this, there's this energy barrier that shrinks during the course of a round, forcing everyone into smaller and smaller areas of engagement, basically forcing conflict and combat, and it just looks really intriguing to me. I've been watching a bunch of live streams, I've been fascinated with the tactics and the play of the thing, and I may end up pulling the trigger myself at some point. The only thing that's keeping me from doing that is the fact that it's currently on early access release, which I always hesitate with. I always hesitate with early access because it's got to fulfill a bunch of stipulations before I can buy in. It's got to already be fun. It's got to already feel solid to play. And if it can fulfill those, then yeah, I've got no problem, because it can only hopefully improve from there. But intriguingly, this has got a lot of history, this game. It didn't just pop out of nowhere. It's based on a mod for H1Z1, which was called King of the Hill. And I think before that it was based on another mod for like Arma 3. Or Arma 4. I have no idea. I have no idea how many Arma games there are at the moment. But crucially, the chief person involved in those mods, the eponymous Player Unknown, is obviously the person bringing us Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. So there seems to be a safe pair of hands behind it at the very least. And yeah, you may see me playing that in the very near future on Twitch. So keep your eyes out for that, indeed. Anyway, I can't really think of anything else to mention for this month, so of course it is time for my big, badass shout-out to my Nutter tier patrons. Thank you very much to Hyperactive Cow, Ben Rosenberg, Incursion Gerbil, Kind Torment, Connor Zollinger, Jeremy Strickland, Michael Ewer, JMAA, and Fenrir Wolf. Thank you very much for your contributions. Not forgetting, of course, my Loon tier patrons. There you are on screen right now. You're all fantastic. You're all awesome. And if this continues, I'm gonna have to just make sure that the names are a little smaller so I can fit them all on screen. It's crazy. Thank you very much for your contributions. If you'd like to contribute yourself, point yourself over to my Patreon page and you can have your name on screen or have me read out your name in a very silly, growly voice. Anyway, that has been it for the channel update March 2017. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Mr. Icarus. Icarus out.